What's going on, everyone? This is Nebby the Hedgie here. I know it's been a while. Trust me, I know it's been a while, and you guys can flame me in the comments. It's been months, and I promised this part of the What If months ago. I am so sorry, but when I was originally going to record this, I looked over the script one more time. I was not satisfied with what I wrote, and rewrote the whole thing. I am so sorry it took this long, but enough beating around the bush. Let's just get right back into it. A year had passed since Baby's attack. Everyone has kept up their training. They need to be prepared for the next threat. As usual, Goku and Vegeta train on Beerus' planet, now with the addition of Raditz. They aren't doing it for free. They do have to pay up a delicious delicacy every time they want to show up. As usual, Whis is trying to teach them Ultra Instinct, but none of them are getting it. So far, all three of them have unlocked Blue, even though Goku and Vegeta haven't achieved Super Saiyan God. Goku is thinking of trying something, but he's going to keep that to himself. Though Raditz is more concerned on that other form he showed off against his fight with Beerus. For now, he'll stick with the name Super Saiyan 4, since it's easier than Super Saiyan Monkey. You might be thinking that Sonic and Shadow will be joining them, but you would be wrong. Sonic has actually been training on the sacred world of the Kais, not because he wants to become a Kai himself, but because he knows Knuckles has been training there and wants to see if the training has paid off. While training, the Supreme Kai notices that Sonic has latent potential that is hiding somewhere within him. While training Sonic, Kibito and Shin mention the Z-Sword, and that surprisingly, with his strength, Knuckles couldn't lift it. Sonic tried to lift it, and at first he couldn't do it. That is, until he ramped into his super form. Once he did, he then lifted it with all his might as the sword came out of the plateau. Even in his super form, it was heavy, but Sonic was holding it. At first he started to swing it around, trying to get used to its weight, then told Knuckles to throw stuff at him to cut with the sword. The Kais were stunned as they watched Knuckles chuck a tree, then a boulder, to which Sonic diced them both. Supreme Kai then materialized a block of Kachin, and told Knuckles to hurl it at Sonic. When Sonic went to cut the sword, it broke. As the pieces lay on the ground, someone appeared in front of everyone. The man introduces himself as a Kai and tells everyone that he was sealed inside the sword by Beerus the Destroyer. Everyone was amazed, and the Elder Kai thanked Sonic for freeing him, then offered to release Sonic's dormant power as repayment, but Sonic refused. He then asked if there's anything he can do to fix the sword. At first, they didn't know, but Sonic then decides to try something. Using magic from his Dark Spine form and a little bit of Chaos Energy, he managed to repair the sword, even somewhat changing its design. He gives everyone a smirk, then tells Knuckles that he has grown stronger, and that he'll be back. Shadow has been taking Silver to train on Angel Island, and taking him into the Room of Spirit and Time. As they train, Silver unlocks the super form. While Metalix doesn't exactly need training, he is assisting Gerald Robotnik with something important. See, Metalix has data on Vegito, and Gerald sees potential in fusion just in case the planet is faced with yet another problem. If the emeralds aren't available, then they need an alternative. In secret, Gerald designs a pair of special bracelet rings and gives them to Metalix, telling him to keep these a secret for now. Like in canon, Champa has come to visit Beerus, and brings the idea of a tournament for Universe 7's Earth. Beerus at first is against this, but thinking back to how strong those on Earth are, not to mention the fact that Whis has been training the Saiyans specifically, he's gladly accepts. Even more so when he realizes that once Universe 7 takes the win, he can rub it in his brother's face. Champa leaves back to his universe, and Beerus returns to Universe 7. He then lets everyone know the situation and chooses Sonic, Goku, Shadow, Raditz, and Vegeta as his fighters. Once they're brought to where the tournament is being held, they see Universe 6's fighter, a man in a trench coat, a Saiyan, someone who looks like Frieza, a green hedgehog in a leather jacket, and a robot man. Champa suggests that the no-killing rule, and even though Sonic brought the sword with him, it would be much fairer and less lethal if weapons weren't allowed. Beerus angrily agrees, though makes a counter to Champa's rule, that no outside tools or items be used in the tournament either, thinking the man in the trench coat might have something in there, only to find out he has no tools on him. While the gods take a moment to bicker, Goku, Vegeta, and Raditz inspect the Universe 6 Saiyan. They find out his name is Kaba, and he's from a planet named Sadala. Vegeta is shocked. He states that before planet Vegeta, the original Saiyan homeworld was named Sadala. While the Saiyans converse with each other, Sonic talks to the other Mobian and finds out his name is Scourge. Scourge comments to Sonic that he is the fastest on his homeworld, Mobius. and that this blue lookalike should just give up while he has a chance. Once the info and trash talk was finally over, the order was set. Since Raditz was their heaviest hitter, he would be last in the lineup. Sonic would be up first, then Vegeta, then Shadow, then Goku, then Raditz. Champa's lineup was Scourge, then Frost, then Kaba, then Vegeta, and finally Hit. Sonic ran into the ring, with Scourge doing the same. Sonic smirked and told Scourge to come at him at max power and go into his super form, with Scourge asking him what is he on about. Sonic surged his energy and entered his super form. Scourge was dumbfounded. He never knew this energy was possible. He couldn't let Sonic, someone who he considered inferior to him, to know that he didn't have a super form. He told Sonic that he didn't need a super form to beat him, and that his base was more than enough. Sonic could sense his energy. He knew Scourge was bluffing. Within a minute, Sonic had knocked Scourge around and bounced him off the arena like a basketball, earning a victory by ring out. Scourge cursed under his breath and swore to Sonic that the next time they meet, he would kick his ass, with Sonic responding that he wasn't even using 20% of his true strength. Next up was Frost, and Sonic was already on edge. Considering Frost looked just like Frieza, Sonic was ready for anything. It was odd though. Frost was in his first form and seemingly didn't know about the other forms. Sonic told him to drop the act. He knows about the second, third, and final forms. Frost dropped the act and transformed into his final form, then got ready. As he fought, Sonic was easily able to block strikes from the Frieza lookalike, but something was wrong. He started to feel woozy. His super form flickered outright, then reverted. Frost capitalized on the opportunity and kicked Sonic out of the ring. Beerus yelled at Sonic, who was still feeling the effects. When he was brought back to the stands, Shadow and Goku looked over him. Just as Vegeta was about to enter the ring, Shadow told him to hold on. Upon closer inspection of Sonic's body, Shadow noticed puncture marks on Sonic's body. He then called the ref and said that Frost cheated. Given that Sonic was blocking Frost's punches, there had to be a weapon concealed on Frost's fist or around that area. Sure enough, there were hypodermic needles on his wrist. Everyone was shocked, with Kaba mentioning why would a hero cheat in a tournament for the God of Destruction. Scourge laughed. He stated that if anyone believed that Frost was any bit good, they were gullible enough to have their planet destroyed. Frost was a con man. He would know. Frost pays him and his team to travel to planets and cause problems so he can swoop in as a savior and gain good standing so he could subjugate the people later. Champa got pissed and told Scourge to zip it, because now everyone has a reason to kick Frost's ass. Scourge shrugged and replied that he's not going to get his ass kicked, only for his lookalike to get beaten by some con man. Sonic was given another chance to fight since Frost was disqualified, but Vegeta says no, he wants to fight Frost. Sonic can sit this one out. Vegeta flew into the ring and glared at Frost, who got into his fighting stance. Vegeta took a deep breath, then started to charge his energy. At first, everyone could feel his power, then they couldn't sense it anymore. Vegeta's eyes glowed as his hair turned a cyan blue, his ki matching the color. Sonic yelled that Vegeta was stealing his style. Vegeta ignored him and screamed as he showed off Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan Blue for short. Frost was shocked but couldn't become uneasy. Vegeta rushed at him and punched him in the gut so hard his fist almost went through him. The Saiyan then roundhouse kicked him to the edge of the ring before appearing where he sent Frost and flip kicked him into the air. He then flew up and spiked the alien down to the ring. Frost groaned and tried to get up, only to have his tail grabbed by Vegeta and slammed. Vegeta then flung Frost to the edge again and rushed toward him and double kicked him in the same spot he gut checked him to ring him out. Everyone was astonished at Vegeta's speed, well, except Sonic. Vegeta smirked. He wasn't the one to put Frieza down, but this will do. Beerus gave Vegeta light praise, while Champa yelled at Frost, then at Scourge for giving Universe 7 more motivation to beat Frost. Scourge shrugged and looked at Sonic. That power. A power that a Mobian had that he didn't. He had to have it. For the next match, Vegeta watched Kaba enter the ring and got into his fighting stance. Just like in canon, Vegeta would mess with Kaba and drive him into turning Super Saiyan for the first time before knocking him out. Next up is Vegeta. Seeing as though there was no reason to put a biodome around the arena, Vegeta is at a disadvantage. Throw in the fact that out of all the Z fighters, Vegeta is the best shit talker out of everyone, it takes no time at all for him to beat Vegeta and have him flee the ring crying. Lastly, Hit was ready. Vegeta smirked and got ready, but within minutes, he was knocked out of the ring. Champa was thrilled, and Beerus yelled at Vegeta. The prince didn't know what was going on. One minute he was fighting Hit, the next he was blitzed and thrown out of the ring. Shadow crossed his arms, then teleported into the ring. He already has a plan in mind. In the event he can't beat Hit, try to expose what he's doing. While the two combatants fight, Shadow would use Chaos Control right as Hit uses his time skip ability. Shadow would see what's going on, smirk. Bingo. Hit isn't actually freezing time, he's slowing everyone else's perception of time flow and moving to a destination, basically skipping through time. Once time resumes, Shadow got ready and told Hit that he has his time ability all figured out. Hit didn't believe him and used his time skip ability only for Shadow to counter with Chaos Control and break through it. He then proceeded to rapidly kick Hit across the face, then spike him on the floor of the arena, then spin to kick him out of the ring. With that, Universe 7 has claimed victory, with Raditz kinda bummed out that he didn't get to enjoy in the tournament. While the tournament was happening, at Capsule Corp, Metalix was in the middle of training Silver before stopping and grabbing his head. He then races inside and alerts Dr. Gerald and Dr. Ivo. They both look at him and he tells them to quickly ready a spaceship. He doesn't know how, but he just received a distress signal. They question him and he responds that it is a frequency from a private channel originating from the Space Colony Ark. Both doctors think for a second before it hits Gerald. He then hurries to plug Metalix into one of their computers. After a moment, there is silence before a sound comes through. A static message is being told by what sounds to be a girl comes through. She then says her name is Maria Robotnik and that she, Broly, and Paragus have run out of supplies and that everything is bleak. If anyone is out there and has received their message, please send help. Gerald wastes no time. He readies a spaceship, then tells Silver and Metalix to come along. Ivo joins and tells Bulma that when everyone comes back, tell him that he's going to find his cousin. The two scientists, Metalix and Silver, head into space. Gerald was in deep focus. This whole time, Maria was alive. He was both excited but angry at himself. He never saw her in Otherworld, which meant she wasn't killed like he was, but that means this whole time she was by herself, probably wondering when he would find her, and that thought infuriated him. Though he was now thinking about the names she said, Broly and Paragus. They definitely weren't names he recognized, and he knew just about almost everyone aboard the Ark. Metalix detected the signal getting stronger, and after a long journey, they came upon a derelict space colony Ark. Once they were close, Metalix made contact while Ivo prepared the ship to dock. Once they docked their vessel, Gerald ran into the Ark, screaming and calling for Maria, telling her that he's here. Silver flew throughout the Ark slowly, using his psychokinesis to lift and remove any rubble or debris. Metalix scanned for any signs of life and picked up 3 energy signatures. Ivo went to find the main control room, with Silver now tagging along. As Metalix and Gerald made their way through the main control room, they heard talking and ran in. There, they saw 2 Saiyans and a hedgehog. They looked at him, and he stared back before yelling for his daughter. One of the Saiyans, the bigger one, glared at Gerald and began approaching him, with the other Saiyan telling him to calm down. Metalix went to approach the Saiyan, but the hedgehog went between both of them, yelling not to fight. She then looked at Gerald, tears in her eyes, before hugging him. Metalix scanned the hedgehog before informing Gerald that the hedgehog before him is Maria Robotnik. Gerald was shocked and wondered how, but after a second, it didn't matter. His daughter was here, she was okay, and for the most part, she was alive. He looked to the Saiyans, then thanked them for keeping Maria safe. He then told them that they have a spaceship that they could use to head back to Earth. Right as he was telling them, the entire Ark's power surged back to life. After a couple minutes, Ivo walked in. He informed everyone that he managed to get the backup power working, and now they can bring the space colony Ark to Earth. On their way back towards home, everyone talks about what's going on. About Sonic, Goku, the Saiyans. That's when Paragus questioned Ivo on the current surviving Saiyans. Ivo told him about all of them, and Paragus raised an eyebrow at the mention of Vegeta. He asked if it was King Vegeta or his son. Ivo responded that he refers to himself as the Prince. He tells Paragus that when he and Gero were watching everything through their spy bugs, he saw the Saiyans invade, then the android and cell threat, then the Metal Sonic invasion, and King Cold and the Metarex, Majin Buu, Chaos, Beerus the Destroyer, and the Tuffle Baby. Paragus listened, then looked to Broly. Maria piped up saying that it was thanks to Paragus and Broly why she survived on the Ark for so long. When that initial explosion happened, she woke up on the Ark, everyone was gone, and she was now a hedgehog. She spent days alone, surviving off emergency rations until one day a pod struck into the Ark. When she investigated, she found Broly and helped him. Soon after, Paragus and another Saiyan showed up. After a while of all of them trying to survive, Paragus and the other Saiyan got into a fight. Paragus had to kill the other Saiyan once they ran out of food. Once they get back to Earth, they're brought to Council Court. There, Maria and the Saiyans are treated to two things they haven't had in a long time: a decent shower and good food. While they're finally starting to calm things down, the others come back from the tournament with Beerus and Whis. Sonic comments that they got the win, and Earth will remain in Universe 7. Vegeta, Raditz, and Goku are shocked to see two more Saiyans. Paragus looks at Vegeta, and then he gets a look of pure anger, remembering what his father did, or rather, tried to do to Broly. Something is different here though. While he was expecting to see Vegeta and tell Broly to rip him apart, he doesn't. He doesn't know why, but looking at Vegeta, that look in his eyes, the way he carries himself, it's not like his father. Sonic and Shadow notice the new hedgehog, but Shadow freezes in his tracks. This new hedgehog, it reminds him of the girl he once knew. The name, it's on the tip of his tongue. Then he remembers. Maria. She recognizes Shadow and hurries over him. She inspects his body and gives him a gentle smile, telling him it's good to see him again. Shadow, for the first time since Sonic could ever remember, smiles as he and Maria hug. The reunion was going well until they felt power starting to rise. It was Broly. He was staring at Vegeta and getting ready to rush him. Before Paragus could pull out the controller for Broly's collar, Broly charged at Vegeta and threw a punch, only for it to get blocked. Vegeta smirked and flew backwards away from the city. Everyone watched, then looked at Paragus, who was searching his pocket for the control switch, but it was gone. Maria chuckled nervously and said that a long while back when Broly stopped going berserk as much as he used to, she got rid of the switch and it's somewhere on the Ark. Sonic nodded to Shadow and Raditz, then told Metalix to go get Gohan. He has a bad feeling about this. While the others left, Paragus explained why Broly started attacking Vegeta. Back on planet Vegeta, King Vegeta, Vegeta's father, was jealous of Broly's power and exiled him from the planet. A mercy, he called it. He's been bitter and angry about it since then. However, seeing Vegeta now, he doesn't see the king in his son, outside of the looks of course. Vegeta doesn't carry the same prideful arrogance that his father had. That alone was enough to prove to Paragus that killing Vegeta would mean nothing. Plus, if what both doctors told him about Vegeta is true, then the prince is nothing like the king. He truly does care, a great deal more than his father ever possibly could. He hates to bring himself to do this, but he tells everyone about Broly, his strength, his rage, everything. But he does something else. He begs them not to kill his son. Broly is all he has left. Broly keeps swinging on Vegeta, who is already transformed into Super Saiyan, and is holding him at bay. The problems start showing themselves very quickly. As Vegeta is managing to fight back and hold Broly off, Broly's adapting to his strength. Vegeta sees him enter the Ikari form without his tail, which shocks him. What kind of Saiyan is Broly? Vegeta starts powering up and transforms into Super Saiyan 3, forces Broly back. Just like before, Broly starts to adapt and completely outclasses Vegeta. Guess he has to go further. Vegeta enters Super Saiyan Blue, but even that's not enough. Broly's just too much for him. Shadow steps in and assists, using Chaos Control to freeze Broly, then began striking him and throwing Chaos Spears. Once time resumed, all the spears hit and exploded on contact with Broly. However, before the smoke cleared, Broly flew out and grabbed Vegeta and Shadow by the face, then slammed them into the ground. Shadow used Chaos Control again, but something was different. Broly started to charge up before time was frozen. Shadow saw the writing on the wall and moved back along with Vegeta. As if on cue, Broly's power broke through the stop time and shattered Chaos Control. Shadow transformed into his Hyper Form and raced in, delivering punch after punch, but Broly was taking no damage from it. He then caught Shadow's fist, then lifted him high in the air and slammed him back into the ground. Sonic transformed into his Dark Spine form, and Goku right behind him in Super Saiyan Blue. Broly yelled, then went charging at him. Sonic grabbed Goku and used Time Break, allowing them both to move and stop time. Goku and Sonic both prepared a Kamehameha and launched it. When time resumed, Broly was on the ground. Then he wasn't. He rose to his feet and started yelling as his hair started to turn yellow. Everyone got ready. Once Broly caught his second wind, he fully assumed the power of a Super Saiyan. Not trying to be put on the back burner off the bat, Sonic held out his hand as Caliburn was called to it. He then charged his energy as, like with his super form, he was covered in golden light. When the light dimmed, everyone saw him donning golden knight armor. Caliburn transformed into Excalibur, and Sonic braced himself. Once Broly got close enough, Sonic slashed at him, forcing Broly to deflect and dodge the oncoming attacks. While Sonic kept Broly on the back foot, Goku readied his God Vine and used it to hold Broly in place. Goku tried to talk Broly down, but his words fell on enraged ears as Broly somehow broke free and reversed the Vine onto Goku. When Broly would grab the now bound Goku, Sonic would jump in and kick Goku out of the way. Broly then grabbed Sonic by his leg and swung him around before slamming him on the ground. Sonic yelled and tried to get away, but Broly grabbed his leg again and kept slamming him against the earth. Shadow and Vegeta tried to intervene, but Broly then swung Sonic into them, then went back to slamming Sonic against the ground. He then threw Sonic into the air, then shot him with a mouth beam. Raditz then flew in with Super Saiyan 4 and punched Broly across the face, knocking him to the ground. He yelled at everyone to get back and find a way to get more power. Even where he's at currently, Broly is catching up quickly. If they don't figure out anything soon, Broly might end up becoming stronger than Lord Beerus. At that moment, Metallix arrived on the scene. Everyone looked at him, but he held his hands up, saying that even with everyone's data copied at this moment, it would take time to match Broly's strength, and at the moment, that's not enough time. He does suggest using fusion. Sonic and Shadow nod, but there's the issue that all the emeralds are scattered. Sonic could try locking onto their energy with instant transmission, but that would still take time to get them all. Then use the Master Emerald to turn the Chaos Emeralds into Super Emeralds. Metallix said that there's another way. He then pulls out those special bracelets that Gerald made. He said these bracelets were meant to replicate the power of fusion, much like the Potara earrings. While they consider fusion, Goku then replies to Metallix that they don't have access to the Potara earrings. Metallix then informs them on the Metamoran fusion. Vegeta is absolutely against fusing with Kakarot, but Goku tells him that with Raditz and the now arrival of Gohan fighting and holding off Broly, they don't have a choice. If he doesn't, then Broly could destroy the world. That goes for Trunks and Bulma. Sonic and Shadow take the bracelets and slip them on. Their bodies slam into each other, morphing into a singular entity. Metallix yells that Shattuck is here, but the fusion stops him. He says that using the Super Emeralds to fusion was Shattuck. This time, he's going to use the other name for his fusion, Sunao. He charges his energy and goes into a super form before shooting past Gohan and Raditz, nailing Broly in the face. Vegeta glares at everyone present, then caves. He tells Metallix to show him the stupid dance. Metallix does, but stresses that they have to be balanced in power, and that if done incorrectly, the fusion will fail, and they'll have to wait an entire half hour to try again. Raditz and Gohan back off, and watch Sunao smirk, then led Broly away from civilization. He deflected any of Broly's oncoming Ki Blast, and responded with a hailstorm of spears. Broly would fly through the Ki Blast and grab Sunao by his face, only to then get roundhouse kicked on the side of his head by a new fighter. The fusion of Goku and Vegeta, Gogeta. Sunao thanked Gogeta for the assist before both of them began to rush back in at Broly. They both tag teamed him, taking turns hitting him with a few punches and kicks before letting the other do the same. Broly was having a difficult time keeping up. Sunao leads with a punch to the face. Gogeta follows up with a flip kick from under the chin, Sunao coming back in with a double-fisted spike on Broly's face. Gogeta appearing below Broly and brought his knee up to the out-of-controlled Saiyan's spine. Broly let out a scream as a large field of energy gathered around him as he unleashed a surge of energy, shooting multiple Ki balls everywhere. Gogeta and Sunao dodged and deflected the attacks before readying a dual Kamehameha. Broly saw this and readied his own energy beam and shot it at them, only for the beams to clash. Everyone fighting was brought to a weird dimension, but were still on guard. Broly powered up into his legendary super form and had both Sunao and Gogeta on the back foot, until they both had to match his power. Sunao entering his hyper form, and Gogeta into Super Saiyan Blue. With one more clash, the fighters broke out of the rift and back to where they were before. Gogeta has an idea. Clearly Broly is out of control. Technically, the best way to fight an enemy like this is to either kill or try to bring them back to their senses, or just knock them out. Sunao readied a Chaos Blast but stopped halfway, then absorbed the power back into himself. He appeared in front of Broly, who swung at him, but the punch did nothing. Sunao responded with a kick to the gut, then another, then finishing with an uppercut. Gogeta told Sunao to move before throwing a multicolored orb at Broly. Sunao backflipped over the orb, as once it made contact with Broly, it exploded in a show of brilliant light. Broly stumbled backwards, dropping down to one knee before looking up at both fusions. At first, they were going to finish him off, but something was different. He didn't seem to be raging anymore, and was more looking up at them in terror. They helped him up before all three of them powered down. Sanao defused, and so did Gogeta. Broly seemed shocked at first, but they explained everything before bringing him back to Paragus. He honestly didn't think that he had it in him to spare Broly. Even though Paragus can't sense energy, he could still feel the immense power struggle. Vegeta and Paragus eyed each other. Paragus may not like the prince, and the prince may not like him. But as of right now, both are thinking the same thing. This could have went very differently otherwise. This is where I'm going to end the part off here. I know it's not as long as, say, the Boo arc, and I kind of just did 2 arcs in one, kind of almost like a speed run, but considering how strong everyone's here, the Universe 6v7 tournament is a moot issue, honestly. They're going to be their best bet if Frost wasn't found cheating, but considering the fact all eyes were going to be on him after what he did to Sonic, it was going to be an inevitability. Jacko only caught it because he saw the glint, but we got to remember, Shadow is made by Black Doom and the Frieza Force in this case. He's not dumb. So with that being said, we have 5 fighters who are basically on the level of... Actually, there's really nothing to compare them to when we start to put them up against Universe 6. There's just no real fighter that Universe 6 has that really could take them all on. Especially not when 4 of them know how to move and stop time, and one of them has greater proficiency in time manipulation than anybody else present. It was only an inevitability. Then when it came to the topic of Broly, it was more so just having to write around how am I going to make an entertaining fight while not either saying Broly is stupid, busted, or, oh yeah, everyone is just stronger than Broly and he's either going to die outright or there's just no fight at all. So I'm happy that how this turned out because, like I said, I had to rewrite the entirety of this script and that's why it took me so long. I do apologize. I'll try not to do that in the future, but the whole point of this What If is not only write a compelling narrative, but also to make it entertaining. And I want to keep things entertaining for you guys. So tell me what you think in the comments, and I already know I'm going to get comments of, oh, it's finally here! He's finally back! Yes, I am back. And when we next cover this part, actually no, I can't give spoilers. I'm not gonna give spoilers. You'll just have to see what I have cooked up in the meantime. As always, thank you all for watching. This has been Nebby the Hedgie, and I'm out of here.